I'm Geoff Birchnell from 3R Angus in Tamworth, New South Wales. So Lloma is the property here. It's 2,000 acres, approximately 15 k's southeast of Tamworth. On this property we raise our stud cattle. We also develop some commercial cattle and background cattle for our feedlot. Every year we have a bull sale at Gunnegadoo Station, which is on the highway south of Tamworth, where we sell approximately 50 to 60 bulls. We also run recip cows here, and we have an on-farm IVF collection centre too. So we produce all of our own embryos on farm, and they're implanted either on this property or a number of other properties that we utilise. 3R started in 2018 with myself and my business partner Tony Haggarty. Prior to commencing 3R, we were in another breed for approximately 25 years, breeding stud cattle. We came across Angus in 2018, and it's been one of the truly best decisions we've made. Since 2018, we've grown the 3R enterprise to be approximately 800 head now, and we've expanded down into South Australia with some 350 odd recips down there. We're also developing a feedlot on property here at Lloma with 1,000 head capacity. And we also have a dry aged meat company within the business. We spent about 25 years with other breeds, and I always admired the Angus cow, and I considered her to be the queen of the beef industry. I just believe that there's not a thing that the beef industry requires that the Angus breed doesn't do as well, if not better than any other breed. They're great cattle to work with. They work across Australia. They're magnificent cows in production. The bulls have got adequate muscle, great carcass characteristics, and most of all, they've got longevity and they've got function that appeals to the commercial cattleman. The perfect example of an Angus animal to me is one that covers all the bases and does it in unison with the environment. So I'm talking about fertility at a young age, an ability to breed and raise a calf to weaning, the ability for that calf to then grow to yearling and into the feedlot sector or finish on grass. On the bull front, we want them to be early to mid-maturing, have the appetite to go out and breed cows as a yearling or a long yearling, and then obviously longevity and the functional traits that we all need to keep those cows and bulls in production over an extended period of time. And I think they're just the fundamentals that commercial breeders and commercial cattlemen desire, and that's central to our breeding philosophy here. We're just all about just getting all of those things right and producing an animal that covers every base adequately. We try and run these cows like they would be run by a commercial breeder that buys our genetics. So what that means to us is they're run in a way that it would be a typical commercial producer in any location that we sell bulls to. And core to that is I'm mindful about what they need and the ability and the reason that they need cows to make 6 and 7 years old and raise 3 or 4 consecutive calves for there to be a economic break even in that animal. And they need their bulls to last more than one season, and so they're just core traits. And I'm an accountant by trade, so I understand the economics of cows that don't last, bulls that don't last, and the loss leading factor of that. So I'm just mindful to just test those cattle from the moment they're born here, raise them in that sort of environment, and just weed out the ones that, frankly, aren't suitable to go into the commercial setting. So, and just really just keep that in our breeding philosophy and just keep running those genetics that are proven to do that over and over again, and making rock solid foundation in our cattle. We obviously do genomics, raw measurements on our stud calves as they come through. We're developing the feedlot here on farm now just to capture those cattle by our genetics and measure their performance on the way through. So aiming for a sort of typical domestic type product, 100 days on feed, I believe by the time we've got the raw data on that animal, the genetic contribution to that into a commercial herd, and then capturing some of the progeny of that animal and bringing them back through our system, it just creates a really good data loop for us. What we do then is we utilise IVF, like I've said, on farm here. And this year in this facility, we'll produce somewhere around 2,500 embryos. So we'll put in about 600 of them ourselves. And it just gives us a really good opportunity to maximise the production levels of those elite animals that we've proven through our system. Yeah, well, I was born in Newcastle, and I was raised down there till I was 9 years old. And we had no real close ties to the agricultural industry. My parents were a school principal and a school teacher. So when I was 9, I never really grew out of the cowboy phase, I'd say. And I was lucky that my father was able to get a transfer up to Corindai, just south of Tamworth, and that really got us into the cattle game. We bought a couple of cows, and I've just always had this fire for cattle, and just had this love and this passion, and always knew that it's what I wanted to do. Being, a small producer and not having a family sort of background in it, I went and got a career as an accountant, and that basically culminated in working in Brisbane for about 15 years with a large accounting firm up there, specialising in ag. So our clients were based, right from the Territory through Queensland, New South Wales, even dairy farmers down in Victoria. And it was really insightful, and it was a great learning opportunity to take some of the lessons and how people have done it in different enterprises, and sort of just think about it, and just let it mull over in my head. And I always knew I wanted to come back, and I always knew I wanted to raise cows full time. And, that was always a dream and a passion. But the 15 years I spent accounting just really cemented that for me, and just taught me, gave me a look under the bonnet of some very successful enterprises. So all that's kind of culminated in 3R. In 2018, I formed a business with Tony Haggarty, my business partner, and we've grown it over the last 6 years. We have got 800 head on this property and another 300 odd recip cows. So yeah, I'm just really excited. I just love what I do, and I wouldn't want to do anything else. I've always loved this, and hopefully I always will. And yeah, it's just a great industry, great bunch of people, just a great way to spend your days. And I always think when you walk out the door in the morning, if you walk out it with some enthusiasm, well, you obviously love what you do, and I certainly do that. So just thankful for all the opportunities, and thankful to be part of this industry and be part of this great breed.